Hello everybody, this is Pitch Black here, and welcome to Underworld Updates number 71. Got some pretty darn big things to say in this video, so without further ado, let's begin. Underworld Updates 71 through to 74 will act as a 5-parter, with the 5th part being an upcoming book collection update. Underworld Update 71, the beginning of the end, will feature the showcasing of 7 items and 1 unboxing. Underworld Update 72, the Field of Eternal Summer, will feature 2 unboxings and the unboxing of a massive 6-book parcel of books, and I will showcase 2 of those books from that bundle at the end of that instalment. Underworld Update 73, the Field of Eternal Winter, will feature the showcasing of the final 4 books from that bundle that I just mentioned, that I will be unboxing 72 and sort of teasing 73 with. And Underworld Update 74, Epitaph, will feature 4 unboxings as well as a recap of the entire sort of thing. It'll be pretty much recapping all 19 bits of merchandise. All 19 bits of Doctor Who merchandise that I will feature in the video, or across the videos rather. Alright then, when sort of thinking over about this sort of specific section of the video, I realised the fact that I actually didn't explain as to why I'm splitting this into multiple parts, and here is why. YouTube Video Editor does not allow you to upload videos longer than an hour anymore, so because of my style this was going to be a multi-parter no matter what. B, I am no longer a fan of producing hour-long-ish collection videos and prefer to produce 15 to 40 minute max collection videos, as I personally prefer them over to longer ones, even though I have no problem watching longer ones like TJ Productions or whoever. And C, because of the style of my unboxings and how I like to produce them, the parts were going to be pretty long anyway. Estimate sort of run length of the entire 5 parts. This one you're watching about 35 minutes, next 30, Field of Eternal Winter 25, Epitaph about 25 again, and the book collection is estimated to be about 40 minutes, so it was going to be around sort of 3 hours anyway, sort of 2.5 to 3 hours, so I feel like it would have been a bit more easily digestible for you guys if I was to like split it into 3 parts or whatever, how long. Probably thinking, damn, those are for some foreboding and doomsday-like titles. Are they meant to be? Well, they are meant to be. I'm going to be going on a channel hiatus that I honestly might not come back from. I honestly hate leaving you guys with just this as an explanation as to why, but I really don't want to get into it, as I feel it's honestly pretty personal, and I honestly hate saying this, to be honest. I will upload the 4 Underworld updates that I just mentioned and the book collection this month in August, hopefully. I will then return briefly in October on the 25th, 26th and 27th with 3 book reviews. And sometime mid-next year I shall return with the Skulls General Reviews month event too. By that point, if I've decided I'm not returning after that, the final instalment in that month event will act as a finale to the channel. As I said, the reasons for me going on this hiatus I feel are pretty personal, and I feel that I don't particularly want to detail them at all, and I honestly just hate leaving you guys with just that as an explanation as to why I'm sort of going on a hiatus. But as I said, the reasoning for me going on this hiatus I feel is pretty much too personal to be talked on YouTube. I know a lot of people are going to be asking me and stuff. I just don't want to talk about it, and just don't particularly want to detail it. It's one of those situations where I feel that I need to sort of push YouTube to one side and just sort of forget about it. Honestly, I've thoroughly enjoyed doing it, but I think at this point I just need to push it to a side. So if when I return next year by the Sculpture General Reviews month event 2, and if that is like my final sort of burst of videos, the final instalment in the Sculpture General Reviews month event 2 will feature as a finale to the channel, and heck, I might as well reveal it. I'm thinking of the final video in that month event to be a review on this Talkback the 60s Deluxe Hand Numbered and Signed Edition by Telos. So if by that point I decide not to come back and that's it for the channel, this will be the final video on the channel. I am not 100% leaving. As I said, it's just possible that I'm leaving for good. At this point I just need to push YouTube to one side and focus on other things rather than just YouTube. So I will return in October for 3 videos on the 25th, 26th and 27th of October. I will return then for 3 book reviews, go on another pause, and then work on the Sculpture General Reviews month event 2 in the background, and that will start uploading whenever it's ready, basically. And if by that point I decide that I'm not returning to YouTube, the review on this will be the very final video on the channel. Very final. Anyways, on to the showcasing part of this video. Okay then, on to the presentation of merchandise for this part of this massive 4-part Underworld update. 7 items to show you here. 6 sort of main sort of Doctor Who items for my collection, and something a little different, a brand new camera. So this is the camera I used to record with, this Sony Cybershot, and recently from the charity shop I work in, I managed to pick up a new camera for only 10 quid, as you can see, well, volunteering for the charity shop. It's a Panasonic DMC FX8 silver, and there is a shot of the camera right there, with an Inception type thing here. But yeah, that's the camera I'm currently using to record this clip. Is it better than this old one here? Yes it is, and I will be using it a lot more for my videos. This one was basically they're the same in sort of video recording, the quality is the same. However, I would say that the sound recording on this new Panasonic is better. On here, on this one, it's a lot louder than the Panasonic one, but at the same time the recording of audio is a lot rougher. With the Panasonic one here, it's much quieter than this, but a lot smoother at the same time. So yeah, that's it, brand new camera for my channel. And yeah, only picked up for 10 quid from the charity shop that I was working in. Anyways, on to the Doctor Who merchandise now. We have one DVD actually, and that is the Seeds of Death Special Edition. Yeah, Seeds of Death is a great Patrick Troughton story, a fantastic Ice Warrior story from the the 6th season of Doctor Who. So yeah, I mainly picked this up because I already have the standard edition of the Seeds of Death, but the thing with that one is, partway through episode 4, halfway through episode 4, it jitters because of a scratch on the disc. So I kept this in the back of my mind and sort of remembered that if I ever was to encounter this one day for a decent price, I would get it. And that day came, and I purchased this for £6. So yeah, Seeds of Death, as I said, is a great Patrick Troughton story, and yeah, it's just a highlight from season 6 for me. Season 6 is quite an interesting season of Doctor Who, and it is good. Crotons I like, Dominators I like, Invasion I like, Seeds of Death I like, and the War Games I like. Not too big fans of the Mind Robber and the Space Pirates, but other than that, season 6 is pretty awesome, and it's awesome to sort of have this special edition DVD. So yeah, it's nice to have both the special edition of this and the standard edition. Now I sort of practically consider my 1960s era DVD collection complete. I know that fucking Underwater Menace DVD release exists, and if I was to ever encounter that for really, really cheap, like £1 or something, I will get it, but that's probably the only price I'll pay for a fucking £1, because even for £1, 1 pence, that thing does not deserve to be bought. What an atrocious DVD release the Underwater Menace DVD release is. Not counting it at all as part of a 1960s era DVD collection, it's just such a shit DVD release. Like I said, if I was to encounter it for £1, I would get it, but it's such a shit DVD release, I'm not going to get it. Probably never going to get the DVD release, I'm probably just going to make a bootleg. But yeah, onto the books now, and from here on it's just non-stop books. We have Doctor Who, The Dalek Generation. This is another book that I purchased from Barter Books when I was over in England on holiday in Alnwick, and as you would have seen from my review, I did purchase this for £3.60, which is awesome. And yes, I have reviewed this Doctor Who book. Not an amazing Doctor Who book by any means, but I do think it's a good one nonetheless. If you want to see my sort of thoughts and opinions on this Doctor Who book, check out my review. And from there on, it's just nothing but spin-off Doctor Who. This is the only mainstream Doctor Who you will see in all of these 4 episodes of Underworld updates. It's just nothing but spin-off Doctor Who from now on, because I'm kind of going ham with spin-off Doctor Who. So for the sort of first spin-off Doctor Who book I will be showing off in this video is a Lethbridge Stewart book, and as you may or may not know, I did a return trip back up to the Forbidden Planet in Newcastle and snatched up 3 more Lethbridge Stewart books. First one of which is another one from season 2 of Lethbridge Stewart, Moonblink by Sadie Miller. Yeah, from reading the blurb on this Lethbridge Stewart book, it doesn't sound massively interesting. It sounds like a bit of a political sort of mess type of storyline, which it should be an interesting sort of read. I like those sort of kind of stories, but I simply prefer other stories, I think, and the sort of blurb itself doesn't really jump out at me or grab me, but you never know, this could be a surprise. So yeah, another book from season 2 of Lethbridge Stewart books. This comes right after the Grandfather Infestation, I think, and then there's advertisements for series 1 at the back there. So yeah, it should be an interesting read. It's got sort of like a Borg looking monster from Star Trek up there. But yeah, it should be an interesting read. Doesn't massively interest me, but I will give it a go one day and I will most likely review it. Next Lethbridge Stewart book is, well, actually 2 that I sort of showcased in the background of a review that I did recently, which was on Times Squared, and the first one of which is Blood of Atlantis. Yeah, again, I don't particularly know too much about this, but unlike Moonblink, the sort of synopsis on this one and the next Lethbridge Stewart book I'm about to show you really do sort of jump out at me and I'm interesting. I think I'm more interested in the next one I'm about to show you, but this one still interests me quite a lot, and it's given me sort of Underwater Menace vibes from this, and I personally do quite like the Underwater Menace quite a bit. It's a guilty pleasure story for me, probably a honourable mention Troughton, I would say, maybe even or slightly make it into my top 10 Troughton stories. I personally adore the Underwater Menace. Well, it's 8 out of 10 story, it's great, so yeah, this should be an interesting read if it's got sort of a lot of Underwater Menace sort of vibes to it. So for a fan of Underwater Menace, this should be an interesting read, and I wouldn't be surprised if the sort of fish people return in this book. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, as there's sort of a lot of Atlantis sort of vibes to it, and this came not long after another Lethbridge Stewart book, Mutually Assured Domination, where another really obscure sort of 60s Pat Troughton monster returns in the form of the Dominators and the Quarks. So yes, Blood of Atlantis should be an interesting read. Simon A. Forward, I don't really know too much about him. Bit of a controversial writer, I think, a bit hit or miss. But yeah, I will one day give that a go and review it. In fact, I'll probably review it quite soon because of what I will be displaying in Unboxing 8 in part 3 of this mini-series. Anyways, the next Lethbridge Stewart book is Mind of Stone by Ian McLaughlin. Yeah, the synopsis of this Doctor Who book sounds pretty damn good. It really sort of draws me in, and it's going to be sort of quite an interesting sort of concept, or sort of interesting book conceptually, as Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart has been remanded to Wormwood Scrubs prison, and his team have no idea why. It just seems like a really sort of interesting, nice sort of interesting book. It sounds like it's going to be quite a nice sort of mystery, sort of political story. Like I said with Moonblink, this isn't really my cup of tea, although I do quite like some political stories now and again, such as the Daleks' Master Plan, and pretty much the entire of Season 3 I consider to be very political, with lots of metaphors for warfare and the Cold War and stuff that was raging on in the 60s at that time. That story and most of Season 3 was broadcasted. I think probably all of Season 3 was broadcasted, or maybe I'm fucking up on my history there, which is likely because I am a emo twat. But yeah, anyways, this sounds like a really interesting Doctor Who book to read. Got a nice reference to Victor Pemberton and Fury from the Deep right there with Colonel Pemberton. So yeah, there is that, Mind of Stone. Looking forward to reading it, but at the same time I'm sort of hesitant, as I recently reviewed another Ian McLaughlin book, which was Time Hunter Echoes, which he co-wrote with Claire Bartlett, I believe, and that was a bit of a mixed Doctor Who book in my opinion, so this should be an interesting read. Final book before we move on to the sort of unboxings of this multi-part series, we have Torchwood, The Men Who Sold the World. I went over to sort of England with a sort of massive list of Doctor Who books I was on the hunt for, and I was quite happy to find this for 99p in a charity shop over there. And it was on my list because I'm sort of looking to complete the Lethbridge Stewart books, the Torchwood books, and the Bernice Summerfield books. So yeah, I don't particularly know too much about this Doctor Who book, but it does sound quite good, and it does act as a prequel to Miracle Day. Looking forward to reading it, but I'm sort of hesitant because I don't really know if you need to watch Miracle Day before reading this. Firstborn and Long Time Dead, which is the other two Torchwood books out of this sort of trio of books. So yeah, it should be an interesting read, and if you know by any chance if I need to watch Miracle Day before reading this, please let me know down in the comments, but it's a prequel, so I'm assuming that I wouldn't really need to, as it's a prequel, so it's technically set before Miracle Day, and it just sort of builds up to Miracle Day, I would say. But yeah, it should be an interesting read. Guy Adams, I read another Doctor Who book from him once, which was Class Joyride, which was a good Doctor Who book, sort of 7 out of 10, sort of a very good sort of Doctor Who book, nothing outstanding, but it is one that I thought was good with some interesting concepts to it. So yeah, there was that. Torchwood, The Men Who Sold the World. Anyways, on to the unboxings. Anyways, on to the first unboxing of this massive multi-part Underworld update, with something quite interesting to say. On to the first unboxing of this massive Underworld update two-parter, and it's going to be an interesting one to end part 1 of this Underworld update multi-parter off with, to say the very least. Is this a book? No. Is it a DVD release? No. It's an audio release. Yeah, this is a certain item that I can't really say a lot on until I actually reveal the item itself. So, without further ado, let us begin this unboxing. And this little sticker here might give you a clue. And believe it or not, this is an audio release. I do intend to review for the Skulls General Reviews, and it will make a lot more sense when I actually reveal the thing. What this is the Phantom Films audiobook release of Time Hunter, The Child of Time. Yeah, I was realistic with this. Time Hunter, The Child of Time is such a rare Doctor Who book to the point where it's going to be very difficult for me to actually find another copy of it, or it's actually not necessarily going to be difficult, but just I'm going to have a long time to wait for it. It's one of those waiting game Doctor Who books, I would say, as I think there's only been either one or two paperbacks listed this year of The Child of Time, one of which I did order, which was $10.99. I did order it, but it never came in the post, so I was realistic with this and knew that it would be a long time until I would have another opportunity to actually purchase a physical book copy of Time Hunter, The Child of Time. So I opted out and got the audiobook because I knew it would be such a long time until I had the opportunity to get the audiobook, not the audiobook release, but an actual physical paperback or hardback of Child of Time. So I opted out and went for this, the audiobook release, and I am still on the hunt for the sort of paperback or physical copy. I've just opted to go for this in the meantime. So if I was to track down the paperback, I would go for it, and if I was to track down the hardback afterwards, I would go for that as well, as the hardback is one of those very rare, it's one of the only Doctor Who books that I would actually get for collector's purpose. If I was to find the paperback first, I would get the hardback. But yeah, without further ado, let's further unbox this item without the sort of introductory stuff. And yes, this is a electronic Christmas tree that I'm using, please don't judge me. And that appeared to do nothing. Here we go, I've got my penknife. Right, easy. Love having a penknife for all of these unboxings that I do on YouTube. It makes it a lot easier. There we go, there's the shrink wrapping off of this item. So without further ado, let us begin this sort of presentation of this audiobook. So we have Time Hunter, Child of Time, the main year that this Time Hunter adventure is set in, 2586, with the sharpshooter logo in the background. Written by George Mann and David J. Howe and read by Terry Malloy. Then we have Phantom Films, and then there for the sort of cover art itself, or sort of artwork, which is the same on the paperback. We have all sorts of lightning bolts surrounding this character from the book, with all sorts of weird sort of symbols on her, with a clearly reused part of the 7th Doctor title sequence in the grasp of her hats. And then for the spine we have Time Hunter, Child of Time, 12. There are 11 books released in the actual Time Hunter range, plus a prologue to it all within the Doctor Who novellas range published by Telos called The Cabinet of Light, making a 12-book series. Phantom Films published every single Time Hunter book, including Cabinet, as an audio book. And the Cabinet audiobook release they did was actually an edited version of Cabinet of Light to not feature the Doctor, so a Doctorless version of the Cabinet of Light. And so there's the spine again. And then for the back we have a shrunken down bit of the cover, or part of the cover, www.phantomfilms.co.uk, barcode, and then there you've got various copyright guff, 5 audio CDs, running time is 350 minutes. So that is, let me have a think here, I think that's about 5 hours and 50 minutes, so just shy of 6 hours. And now for the sort of synopsis, which is here. Time Hunter, Child of Time, written by George Mann and David J. Howe, and read by Terry Malloy. When Honro and Emily investigate the bones of a young woman in the ruins of a collapsed house, they are thrown into a thrilling adventure that takes them from London 1951 to Venice in 1586, and then forward 1,000 years to the terrifying, devastated London of 2586, ruled over by the sinister Sodality. What is the terrible truth about Emily's forgotten past? What demonic power are the Sodality plotting to reawaken, and who is the mysterious Dr. Smith? All will be revealed in a stunning conclusion to the acclaimed Time Hunter series. Then for the interior of this audiobook, we have various sort of guff behind the sort of pack, which I'll just quickly take out. We have just a bit about the audiobook, where it was recorded, a bit about the author George Mann and David J. Howe, and a bit about the author Terry Malloy, and then other sort of audios in the Time Hunter series, advertised the winning side, Peculiar Lives, the kit sign, and then there you've got the artwork from the cover once again. And then for the discs we have the first disc, which is now for the discs we have disc 1. As you can see, it's just a plain sort of just a really sort of plain disc with the Sharpshooter logo on it, and it's got this nice sort of map to the disc itself, which is quite nice. Then there you've got disc 2, 3, 4 and 5 there, and that's come off. Yeah, quite interesting packaging to say the least with this audiobook release. And this is just falling everywhere. But yeah, quite an interesting thing for me to get. As you know, I'm not a massive fan of audios, and so yeah, as you know, I am not a massive fan of Big Finish, and to be honest, the audio format itself, I personally don't mind. It's not massively my thing. I can happily sit down and listen to an audio if I really wanted to, but at the same time I just massively prefer the sort of whole book format over to the audios, and the sort of, and even the television sort of format over to the audio format. So yeah, I don't really have a lot more to say on it other than that. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say on it than that. That was my unboxing of the Phantom Films Time Hunter Child of Time audiobook. Yes, that pretty much concludes part 1 of this massive multi-part Underworld update, and this is far from over. I have a lot more unboxings to display for you guys. Even an unboxing of a book rarer than Time's Champion. What book is it? Find out in the next installments.